What's going on, guys? We've got two Mustangs right here. Today we're going to show the top 5 first mods that any Mustang GT owner needs to get. So this is my first gen Coyote right here. It's got a good amount of stuff done to it. It's not anything extreme, but it definitely has like the main mods that you're going to need.
Alright, as you guys can see behind me is my S550 Mustang. It clearly has a couple things done to it, and like Connor said, it has the pretty much main things you need and should get done to your Mustang.
Alright, starting off with number 1, it's definitely going to have to be the exhaust. Because any Mustang is going to be loud. You can't have a Mustang and not be loud. Are you serious?
So me and Connor actually have the same exhaust even though we have different cars. He has the catless stock manifolds and I have the Roush axle backs, and then we both have the X pipes and they're actually really loud. I'm going to get Connor started up for you guys so you guys can hear what it actually sounds like. That's what a real Mustang should obviously sound like. Pretty loud. Alright, now that you guys heard Connor's car start up, like I said, we have the same exhaust, but it's still cool to hear two different Mustangs start up, so I'm going to go ahead and start mine as well.
Let me get behind you. Oh.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Alright, so as you guys can hear, me and Kevin's car does sound somewhat different, even though we have the exact same setup. Again, the setup, we have the stock header, surprisingly, to a catless X pipe. We both have a resonator delete, and we also both have Roush axle backs. So it's nothing too crazy, but it's the same setup. It is Gen 2 versus Gen 1, so there is some differences.
So as for why you guys need to get an exhaust, you can't have a Mustang and not make it be loud. That's pretty much just like driving a Prius but removing the battery. It just does not make sense. Another advantage is that getting exhaust is really not that expensive compared to other mods that you have to do to these cars that can get really expensive. Also, going catless will give you with a lot more room to make more power compared to having the stock exhaust, which is not good and doesn't sound good. Alright, so the second most needed mod for your Mustang is the tuner. As you can see, this little device here that looks like an iPhone is actually going to unlock a ton of different capabilities for your car. Half of the things you see done here in the engine bay are not even possible without a tuner like this. So compared to a lot of the other mods, this is really not that expensive. It's going to run you around like $400 to $500 that you only need to pay one time. Then obviously the cost of the custom tune. This is going to give you the ability to change fuels like E85 for all you fast boys or 93, whatever you want to run. And obviously let you do unlimited mods to your car so you can make it look good like this.
Alright, with number 3, I'm definitely going to have to say it's going to be wheels. So as you can see right here, I only have got new wheels for my back too. I do have the Well Lagunas because I believe the Red Pack is the best method. Now, about my front wheels, whoever the weird owner of this car was before me decided to get these random wheels. When I first got this car, these were all in all 4, and it actually looks horrible. I do still have the other wheels, but they're not good wheels. But the first thing I need to do is get the back wheels replaced, obviously, so I can actually hook it up. Alright, as you can see, Kevin's S550 right here is also on drag pack. These are VMS wheels though. Kevin has the matching fronts, which is a big advantage to me because I don't have that. I need to get it ASAP. But you can see here, wheels, it just transforms the car. If this was on stock wheels, it would be nowhere the same. Even my car, even though it's the rear two, those rear two wheels made such a big difference. If it's going to be on all stock wheels, it's not going to look like anything clean. Obviously, the thing about wheels, they are more on the expensive side depending on what kind of wheels you get. These are not, they didn't run me too much because I only got 2. I think they were about like 450 a piece. I don't remember. I think like 400 a piece. That's only for 2 though. So even all around that 1600 plus the tires, it's not too crazy. But if you actually get some extreme wheels, these are the B-locks, it'd be a lot more. Or if I got some like really nice like 3-piece wheels, obviously I'm not going to do that because this is not a stance car, so I'm not doing that. But if I were to do that, it would cost me upwards of like 3 racks for 1 wheel. So it really depends on what kind of wheels you want to get, but they are more on the expensive side for sure. But just like I said earlier with Kevin's car, any car that's on stock wheels is not going to look any kind of clean, so that's definitely got to be one of the first things that you handle. when you get a Mustang GT.
Yeah, I have to agree with Connor, even though obviously he's my friend. I'm going to hate on him for a second. These wheels are nowhere near clean for this car. If he had the full set of well Lagunas, I've been telling him it will completely transform this entire car and make it look like a completely different car. For the fourth mod, it has got to be these clear LED lights that a lot of Mustangs have. A lot of Mustangs have them for a reason, because this was actually one of my first, actually it might have been my first mod, and still to this day, like 2 or 3 years later, I still love them. They're pretty much just clear LEDs. They hardly work, but that's how good they look that I still have them on there. So a lot of times when we're driving, people behind us and our friends and whatever actually tell us that we're blinding them with how bright these lights are. So just so you guys can see, we're about to shut off all the lights and close the door, so you guys can actually see how bright they are. So you guys can probably barely see right now, but you're about to see how these work lights are about to light up the whole room. As you can see, you can probably see my face right now. They're pretty bright and they look so good. So like I said, every good Mustang has this mod. A form of proof is literally, here's another good Mustang with the same work lights. The only difference is that Connor, since he has an S1i7, he has the work lights in the back and in the front, which in my opinion makes it look really good compared to my car. It doesn't have them in the front. Now the best thing about this mod, in my opinion, is that they cost like $20. So that has to be by far probably the best cheap mod that you can get for your car. And it looks amazing.
You know, it's like Kevin said, I think I literally spent 20 for the front and 20 for the rear. Now, I will say, don't get scammed by Diode Dynamics, because they were trying to sell this for $200. Get it off eBay, it's like $20. Here for number 5, and I personally think no matter what kind of car it is, it doesn't have to be a Mustang. This is probably one of the first things you gotta do that literally any car ever. It's only gonna have to be the tint right here. As you can see, my window's barely see-through, and it's in the middle of the day, and it's bright and it's hot out here. The sun is fully out right now, and you can barely see through. And it's 5% tint. But if you have a fishbowl car, it makes it look way worse no matter what it is. My windshield does have 35, but you can barely tell. That one, I need to get more on windshield, but still, it makes a lot of difference. If the windows were all clear on this car, it would not be nearly as clean. So Kevin's car is also tinted, obviously. His windshield is 20% though. You guys just saw in the last clip, mine's 35. The 20 looks a million times better. The windshield is very important. You can see the reflection of the stuff above rather than inside the car.
So yeah, like Connor said, I have a 20% on my windshield. Obviously, you can kind of see through it a little right now because my windows are completely rolled down. But I actually have 20% here and I believe 15 on the windows. Definitely, if you can, get darker on the front and just in general. Unlike Connor, or actually Connor was too scared to get a darker tint, so I had to get the I had to get the darker tint for him. Now he regrets not getting the 20. Dude.
And when it comes to the price of the tint, it really can vary. First of all, it depends on the car. If you're watching this, it's probably gonna be Mustang, so it's not gonna be that much. If you're getting an SUV, it's gonna be more because there's more windows, obviously. But for mine specifically, I actually ordered a kit from online of pre-cuts. So it's $40 and I put it on myself. You can kind of see in some areas, like right here, you can tell I put it on myself.
Gee.
But you can only see on some parts. The windshield I didn't do myself. I paid like $60 or something for that. The total probably cost me about $100 something and like an hour of my time. It was definitely worth it. And that was like 2 years ago and it's still on there. It's fine except for that one area.
Okay, so like Connor said, the price can vary. Now, since I did not get mine done by a random guy at a random shop, I had mine done by a random guy at another shop. Anyway, so this cost me $200 for the front, but this is ceramic film, I believe, and obviously it's 20%, and they're not even supposed to do that because may or may not be illegal. Anyway, this was $200, and then when I bought the car, this was already pre-tinted, so it was pretty much free for me. But if you do take your car to a shop and get your windshield done and then the rest of all your other windows, it should cost you around like $400 if you take it to a real shop. Just
to prove that what Kevin said is right, if you look right here, my windshield, I don't know how good you can see it on camera. It's really clean right now, but there's still specks all in here. You can see this right here. That's because I took my windshield to get done to a random man in his garage, and that's why it was cheap. But if you come over here and look at Kevin's car, obviously it's darker, but the main thing is the tint is actually put on there well. And there's not random specks in the whole thing. It actually gets me heated.
So like we said, those are just 5 things that we believe you should get for your Mustang that you will definitely enjoy. There's tons of different mods that you can get for your car, and everyone's opinion is different. But in our opinion, those are the top 5 ones that you should get right away because they'll completely change your car. A lot of people choose to spend their money on other things that really make no difference or make the car look any better, and it's just wasting your money, honestly. So that concludes our video. If you guys like what we said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Our goal for this is to both have Shelby GT500s next year. So obviously all you guys' engagement helps with that. We appreciate you watching your video, and that's it.